Hello, I'm Liam Scollin. I'm standing here in my garden here in the west of Ireland, where we grow our own vegetables actually and do as much as we can to be in our own way sustainable. But it brings me to just thinking about rural Ireland and the work I do with groups. What we really need is a radical transformation of rural Ireland, a radical movement. I talk a lot to organisations up and down the country, mainly community groups, volunteer groups, and I sometimes ask the question, what would you like to see in the future? What would be success for your area? Invariably I get the same answers. We want our young people to be here, we want our young people to be able to build houses and live here and get jobs. We want to be able to see farms as we drive along the roads with energy crops, with new innovation, with things happening, with lots of employment. We want to see social vibrancy. So why isn't this happening? I think the answer is because we haven't been radical enough. We haven't been brave enough to set out a real vision for rural Ireland. What we need in rural Ireland is two things: democracy and empowerment. During COVID, I had a lot of experience of talking to groups. And you know what? Volunteer groups and community groups held this country together during its toughest time in recent years. And more recently, when we had the Ukrainian refugees coming into this country last year, the public were asked to sort of help. Thousands of people offered their homes. It's sad that not much of that was taken up, but it was an example of the spirit, the willingness of ordinary people and the ability of civic society, ordinary voluntary and community organisations to really take this country in another direction, in a direction where we don't have homelessness, where we don't have people having to immigrate, where we don't have people on low paid employment. So in order to get there, I think two things, as I say: democracy and empowerment. Democracy meaning more support for community councils, democratically created bodies that really represent local community organisations and local areas, where local will, local innovation, local empowerment really happens. And the second thing along with that is genuine resources for those community organisations to employ core staff. Not staff just to run additional projects, but core staff to run these democratically elected community councils. And I think if we have those two things, democracy and empowerment of civic organisations, of local community and volunteer organisations, then we can have a more radical transformation of rural Ireland. And if you keep in touch with my website, www.liamscollin.ie, you'll see the work I do, and I would just love to work with more groups that are actually looking at empowering and changing rural Ireland. Thank you.